All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. The Oklahoma City Thunder are in the middle of a rebuild that has seen them improve their record in each of the last 3 years. This season, the Thunder saw a 16 game improvement in the win column, which resulted in them qualifying for the play in tournament. And after knocking off the New Orleans Pelicans, OKC fell one victory short of getting to the NBA playoffs for the first time in 3 years, as the Minnesota Timberwolves were just too much for them on Friday night, last night. But the future is, to me, immensely bright for this Thunder team as you're talking about one of the youngest NBA teams, and they are loaded with talent. We saw and we've seen in recent years guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, emerge as one of the top scorers in the NBA. And this past season, he went over that 30-point per game average. He is the real deal in regards to being a scorer. You look at a guy like Josh Giddey, who has been talented from the day one with the Thunder. You have another youngster in Jalen Williams. OKC is hopeful to get a healthy Chet Holmgren back for next season. Remember, he was the second overall pick in last year's draft, had that foot injury in the summer, and it shelved him for what should have been his entire rookie campaign. Now, Thunder general manager Sam Presti has always been known for being, you know, I'm trying to think of the best word, but I mean, he's very smart in his way as far as going about making trades and acquiring draft assets and young talent. And because of that, OKC has a slew of draft picks over the next several years from several trades, which have involved teams such as the Houston Rockets and Los Angeles Clippers. But for me, what would happen if Oklahoma City were to slightly change the narrative? And I say that saying, you know what? You don't have to sit back on all of those young picks. You don't have to sit back on all of those young players. What if you went out there and made a trade? You don't have to give up everything, just a little bit in order to improve this roster. And I say that because the Thunder are talented enough to make the play-in tournament. And of course, once you get a guy like Holmgren back for next season, you should be ready to get to the playoffs without having to go through the play-in tournament. But to me, I feel that OKC needs a vet or two on this roster. Very young team, one of the youngest in the NBA, but you need some guys to show you how to get it done. And I think on top of that, the Thunder really need themselves a legitimate point guard, a legitimate floor general, which would allow SGA to be more of that off guard and more of that scoring guard that he has shown that he can be. I think that would be a huge step in the right direction for the Thunder. Maybe bring in a star player to bring it all together. I'm not sure, but I think at the end of the day, you want to make sure you have that finisher in those postseason scenarios. But again, this is a good problem to have for this Oklahoma City team because they're young. Again, you have a slew of draft picks and you have a slew of young players to work with for a variety of aspects if you are Presti and this Oklahoma City front office. For me, one of the questions is, or would or should Sam Presti push that envelope? He's never really been a guy that does, so I'm not going to sit up here and hold my breath on it. But it's a scenario if you're Oklahoma City, you really don't have to mortgage the future. A tweak here and a tweak there. And I think this team is really on the cusp of doing something for special. And I say that because the West is there for the taking. Yes, the NBA playoffs in the West, right now, they're loaded with star players. But some of those star players, a la Steph Curry, a la Kevin Durant, a la LeBron James, obviously they're not going to be playing basketball forever. Some of these guys, sooner rather than later, they're going to be bidding farewell to playing in the NBA. And, if you're the Thunder right now, you're sitting back laying in the weeds and you have an opportunity to be in that top four in the West soon and be a team that is going to be in title contention for years to come. You look at it, they just locked up SGA to a long term deal. Josh Giddey has a couple of team options. I think Oklahoma City is going to pay him soon. Obviously, Chet Holmgren is still on his rookie deal. We want to see what he can do in the NBA. And then, of course, the picks that are just going to keep coming, which it seems like for Oklahoma City. But nonetheless, the future is very bright for this team. You got to love what you've seen for this team. They definitely need some more size. They definitely need that floor general. And this summer, it's going to be interesting. I'm not going to say it's important, but it's going to be interesting to see how Presti and the Thunder front office attack things this summer. But make no mistake about it, the Thunder were just on the cusp of making the postseason. And I got a real good feeling that this time around next season, as long as everybody is healthy, we're not going to be having the same conversation about this team. We're going to be talking about them in that field of eight in the West and how much damage that they can do in the NBA playoffs. This is a young team. The future is bright. And if Sam Presti does it right, the Thunder could be the team to beat in the West for the years to come. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now, you can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, and I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.